Oh, well, hello, my fellow caramellers. How are you doing today? This morning? Yay. Well, I've had an interesting night. I haven't slept, but I really, I got not a lot done, but got a good amount done. But I was going through a process, and I'm gonna show it to you. But after the music's done. Okay, so I got the main monocoque all put together. Basically, kind of, sort of, but not really. There's still some parts I didn't put on of step 1. 24 steps to go. I didn't sleep last night. I couldn't sleep. That's a whole nother thing. And I didn't really spend my waking hours on this so much. I put a few hours in, and I'm pretty happy. But if you can notice what I did here, this was turning into, which this is an absolute ridiculous time to experiment, but I'm experimenting. So I talked about I was going to try this acrylic premium top coat from Mr. Hobby, and I looked up some instruction, and I know it says 30-minute dry time, 30 to 60 minute dry time. So I actually have got 2 light coats, and then I put a heavy coat. Waited about a half hour in between each coat. So it's where a lot of my time got sucked up last night. And then I left it sitting, and it looks like it did pretty good. Now, this isn't the main coat I put on this. This is kind of, and it feels pretty good. It doesn't feel soft or nothing. I can touch it, and it doesn't feel sticky at all. I got a tiny little bit. You can barely see a little bit of crazing right there. I don't even know if I can get the light to shine right there. You can barely see it. Just a touch of crazing right over here. That's all I can see. It's a pretty decent sheen to it. I mean, I'm not unhappy with that. It looks better than just leaving the plastic there. Let me show you here real quick. If I can get this. We're not editing because I'm putting this up as quick as I can this morning. Oh boy, sorry. So take a look. You can see the difference between the bare plastic and, of course, putting this clear on there. Now, why I did this is I want to put a clear barrier down before I lay the decal. So it means I got a really extra smooth surface, and actually I can now hold on to it. So we're ready. So there it is. That's what I cleared with. So it looks like I think this is going to work out really good. Feels really solid. I'm really happy with this. But there's a few other little sub-assemblies and stuff that I could tell you that I have together and ready to pop into this, but I'd kind of be lying. I mean, I got one thing that just had to paint a little black piece up here. It's a thing job, the pump thing. That's going to go right in here, but I wanted to wait till I did this clearing before I glued that on. I didn't want clear on that. So let's do something here. You're going to have to wait as I fumble. Again, no editing. No editing. Let me get out the decal sheets. See, which one do I know? It's first look. Which decal do we need? I want to lay down the decals that go on this main monocoque here. Ding, ding, ding. And we got a couple here. I think there we go. I think that's what we got to do. We got to lay that down. This actually is a lot of white on this. So let's go ahead and, they're die cut. So this should be interesting. Let's see how this lays down. I'm just gonna do it right now. What the heck? And we'll talk a little because I'm not gonna edit this. Again, kamikaze style. But let's go ahead and cut this out. What's really cool is because they're nicely die cut, you don't have to really worry much about cutting close to the decal. You just get it cut out, and we're going to drop it in the water. that I got. Let's get this out of the way. Got a little thing of water right here. What the heck? Let's bring it up into view, and there we go. Just make sure it's going to be this side, and we're going to drop this baby in. Woo! Look at that. Come on, get straight, brother. Get straight. Let me go ahead and this is definitely mark fit, right? Mark fit. We're not dealing with any glue here. We're not going to screw things up. We'll get to that mark fit, but let that soak for a little bit. I'm going to get a hold to prepare with my little cloth to soak up the action. I usually like to use like a little piece of cotton t-shirt. It's kind of my favorite thing to dab decals with. I'm going to set it. I got it sitting on my lap right there. So, come on, let's get going. Let's get it going. Meanwhile, let's go ahead and open up the mark fit. And let's go ahead and I guess I'll put some of this mark fit on here. I think we're going to be covering all this area. It kind of just beads up though. It doesn't really. I usually kind of want to get the setting solution under the decal. It's not really important to have it on top. So we'll see. It's already starting to come up, so I'm going to go ahead and put that down, and let's pull this out. I think it's ready to rock. Here. Let's see, how do we want to go about this? Let me get this out of the way. So I'm going to dump it with my hand, and then I'll scream and holler and yell and wake up the family because it's like 5 in the morning right now. Nah, it's about 6 in the morning now. Sun's up. And let's see how we go with this. See how everything lays out. This is pretty interesting how it goes. Yeah, that goes around there. Kind of goes around that. Does it? See how this all fits into here. Ooh, this decal works pretty good. Not really. I don't have a lot of setting solution on this. I'll probably start as we get going, but I think, let me see if we have a good picture of the front of the car to see where that white goes. Let's see, where's that white? So, okay. All right, we got that. So the white's kind of laying right where it should. Excuse me. I think it's all kind of hitting where it's supposed to. I'm going to throw some setting solution on it, get underneath it. This mark fit does good for us. Get up underneath there. And what's going to happen is, as I'm working with this, it'll start to straighten all out and flatten out and form to the body. This right here is kind of interesting. I'm looking at a picture here. Let's look at let's go by the box art. See where that goes. Okay. Yeah, I guess that's doing the job right there. I bumped into the mic. There's a lot of ways. Everybody has their way of doing decals. Me, I just use my fingers. There's little tools to use, but I just kind of get things going with my fingers. I'm going to throw a little bit more on here. It's softening up real good and starting to wrap and adhere, and some movement in it. I'm also gonna get some water on here. That water kind of helps you get the movement going. There. Getting that all there. Just got this wrinkle we can't get out. Come on, wrinkle, get out. I'm gonna start doing a little bit of squeegeeing with the cotton cloth here. If you went back and looked at my video when I built the first next gen cup car, and there was a lot of decal going on that, and it happened to be a Kyle Larson car. Yes, I am a Kyle Larson fan. I did a lot of cutting and stuff like that in that video to kind of speed up the process, but it took some working. I mean, I was doing this. You got to be patient with these things. It doesn't happen right away, but it will happen. But we're just working it. And I tell you what I might do is I'm going to keep on working it. Do you guys want to just sit here and watch me do this, or you want me to just keep on working it? When I get it all done, I'll show it to you, okay? Why don't we do that? We're going to shut the camera off, and I'll be right back, and it'll be done. It'll be cool. Okay, we're getting it. I got a little bit more of smoothing out to do, but I start at one end. I never go back and forth. I just start at one end, and I work my way down it and get everything all smoothed out, and that's looking pretty darn good. I'm really liking that. It's getting into the kind of take my fingernail with the rag wrapped around it and get into all the creases and get that taken care of. And now that I got kind of smoothed out, I'm going to throw a little bit more of this, kind of coat this, soften it up a little bit more, help a little bit of the adhesion around some of the wrapped around parts. And it's not a perfectly flat surface. There's some character lines and things that need to conform to. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this side sit before I touch the other side, because, oh boy, this is probably going to be the stuff that takes the most time on this build, is the decal work. And I really enjoy doing decals. This is like my favorite part of model building. That's why I thought this would be a fun build for me. I think I can make this all happen, but it might be a little more than I was expecting. But we're going, so that's how it's going to work out. But not too shabby. Really didn't take me a long time to do that, but it's pretty well on there. Wrapped around real nice. And this is looking better. Probably just needs a little bit more work right there. Might have to do some trimming of the decal. I got a couple of little spots I'm going to work on. Not a big deal. I think we got ourselves that look. This is going to be really cool. And having that decal film, well, let me correct that. Having that barrier of, this is kind of the theory, and you see how nice the white is, and I'm sure it probably would be just fine because these decals are exceptional. But just to make sure that this orange doesn't go passing through this white, to kind of give it a little bit of a creamsicle color, best I can think of right now, that's why I like to put a barrier of clear down, because then this decal is technically never laying against pigmented material plastic, styrene, whatever you want to call it, or if it, even if it was paint. So it's going to keep the color, well, the white, a lot more truer. Yeah, that's what we're saying. So that's it. I'm going to keep on working on this. I'll come up with another update. I think what I'm going to do is I kind of stayed on this and concentrated on this. I think I'm going to have to get a bunch of other pieces of the body together and get them clear coated so that they sit for a while. Like I said, this clear coat's probably been on for about 6 hours, and it seems to be pretty tough. And then I got to clear this again when I get all the decals on it. So we got a lot ahead of us here. Woo, this is going to be a challenge. This might be more of a challenge than I thought it was, and a lot more difficult than the car I did last year, NASCAR race car. But the decals, it was very easy to do. You got to put some time into it. So that's the tough part about this model here for a 48-hour build, is the amount of decals. I'm not going to say nothing. We're going to keep on forging on. If I get done, I get done. If I do not, I will continue on with this until it's done, because I want to have a completed car. If there's anything that I may skimp on, I might not do all that carbon fiber, because that could take some time, and I might just leave all those pieces black. They're already black. Everything that gets carbon fibered is already a black plastic, and that'll look good for this model. And quite honestly, the way this model goes together, I could probably always go back later and put the carbon fiber decal down. So we will see. We're going to mess with a little of it, because I do want to make a little bit of a video having some of that carbon fiber on there. So anyways, Saturday starting, I have to try to go all day without any sleep. We got a big day. I got a lot of model building to do. I also have Felix's birthday party, but his parents are taking care of that more. I just do need to make an appearance to say, hey, I do like the kid and stuff, and say hi to him, I guess. But and I also have to go run out and get I haven't gotten his present yet. Don't tell him. I got to run over to Andy's and get a Bandai dinosaur model he wants. But his mom was up all night getting his gifts ready, since the kid ain't going to miss something I give him. But, Grandpa's got to take care of him. Anyways, that's it for now. I'm going to go ahead and put this video up and get back to work, I guess, and try to drink a lot of coffee, try to stay awake all day, and let's have fun building model cars, because that's why we do really silly stuff like these 48-hour builds and put ourselves through this. Why? Because it's fun. Here's the producers.